I'm Dominique Blocker with City TV, and welcome to Inside Santa Barbara, the city's only news magazine show. We bring you up to date on the city's most significant issues, projects, and events. If you're like most of us, you probably have a goal or two for the new year. In our first story, we may be able to help you with a few of them. In one place, you can find the solution for a healthier, less stressed, and more environmentally friendly 2011. If you build it, they will come. This quote has been attributed to everyone from a saint to an actor in a film, but more important than its origin is its message. When there are resources for residents to use, they will be more likely to utilize them. In Santa Barbara, a town with a long-standing history of forward-thinking commuters, bicycling to work and for daily errands is a common occurrence. Yet 3 years ago, when Bike Station Santa Barbara opened, it added an additional incentive to those already biking and made cycling around town a viable alternative for others.
Our bike station here was built as part of the original Granada Garage structure. In as much as when we were looking at the plans and deciding what the Granada Garage would look like, we said, well, our policies support improving bicycle parking as well as vehicle parking. And so we were really excited that we could carve out this little space for bicycle parking in the Granada Garage structure.
That space has not only been welcomed by current cyclists, but helped break down barriers for those who wanted to cycle but found reasons not to.
The really important thing about bike station type facilities is that they actually get people out of cars and onto bicycles. So they provide a real solution to people by providing secure bike parking and showers and things like that.
Breaking down those barriers, such as lack of secure parking and lack of conveniences for cyclists, has meant more people on bikes and fewer in their cars.
We do surveys of all of our facilities on a regular basis, and we did one for Santa Barbara. And what that shows was that 43% of the people that are using the bike station for their trips were previously driving for those same trips. It's higher than a lot of other cities in the country, and so Santa Barbara really has a lot of potential for growing bicycle ridership by providing facilities like this.
By addressing 2 out of the 3 most common barriers to biking, the third being safety on the road, Bike Station Santa Barbara can mean using a bike to get around town isn't the challenge some might think it is. It all starts with creating a place that is full of tools, literally, for the cyclist. Located inside the Granada Garage parking structure, Bike Station Santa Barbara provides protected bike parking 24/7 in convenient walking distance to State Street, the downtown waterfront shuttle, the MTD transit facility, and the Amtrak station.
When a member goes in, they won't find a staff person in there, but what they will find is 80 spaces to park bicycles, secure shower, a separate secure restroom, a workstation to work on your bike if you need to. We have access to compressed air if your tires are low, also tools in the workstation, and a vending machine that has supplies that you might need in the course of your day, from shampoo to things to fix your flat tire with.
There's a lot of tools and things that I wouldn't normally have access to for my bike. I'm kind of a casual rider. I don't, keep that stuff at home, so it's been nice to be able to pump up my tires and use the tools that are available in the space.
With plenty of space and convenience, Bike Station Santa Barbara quells one barrier to the bike. When you add in its now long-standing safety track record, barrier number 2 is falling right behind.
To me, the benefit of having a membership is I feel especially secure about having my bicycle parked in a downtown location. It's not exposed to the element, it's not exposed to someone who might be interested in taking it. Also, the parts that are on my bike are secure, so I can bring my bike in with all the parts and things I need on it for the day and be confident that they will all still be there when I get back from my errands or my work.
It's a really inexpensive way to make sure that your bike is secure while you're at work, and I think that you would find that you're more likely to actually use your bike as transportation if you have a system kind of worked out that includes the bike station.
The bike station is maintained by Downtown Parking, which focuses on providing employees and residents a wide range of alternative transportation options in the downtown area. The facility uses multiple security measures to make sure members can feel confident leaving their bikes and their belongings in the bike station.
The bike station that's located here in the Grotto Garage is a totally secure facility. The only way you can enter the bike station is with a key fob, so if you don't have a key fob, you can't get in.
For downtown business owners, the safety that the bike station provides offers peace of mind and is an ideal way for employees to get to work.
I am not really a morning person, and so when I drive, you just sort of sit and you're kind of in a daze, and I kind of arrive at work sort of still in that sort of half awake daze. I haven't, you get off the bike and you just feel really energized. I mean, it is a much better way to start your day.
Ultimately, for every downtown worker who commutes by bike, there is one more parking space for a paying customer.
The bike station is like a total win for business because, every, local employee who rides their bike to work, it's one less car, less carbon footprint, all of the rest of the stuff, but it's also less congestion in the downtown.
And that makes bike station memberships an attractive benefit for employers to offer their employees.
Adding a bicycle commuter package to an already existing transportation compensation package for employees is really a nice way to complement and supply the bicycle commuters with something that's already being provided to transit and car users.
We're trying to go as green as we can with our shop, so encouraging the staff to use the bike station and ride their bikes to work as opposed to driving here is a good step towards that. And also, they save a lot of money in parking, so it's a better choice for sure.
I work downtown, so the bike station is the perfect place for me to keep my bike safe and out of the elements. But it's also a great spot to keep the many things I need throughout my day. Got my gym clothes for after work, an item I need to return to a shop on State Street. I even carry my lunch with me, but I do bring that to work. The best part is these benefits don't end when the workday does.
The bike station, I can park my bike in here and go downtown and go to a movie or go shopping and not have that little sense in the back of my mind, is my bicycle going to be there when I come back out again?
By supporting bicycling as a viable mode of transportation, Santa Barbara is moving in the direction that Department of Transportation Secretary Ray LaHood said the U.S. needs right now. In his statement at the October 2009 opening for Bike Station Washington, D.C., LaHood stated, "What is really important to America is not what Bike Station provides, but what it makes possible. This is a smart investment in truly multimodal commuting. It is attractive, it is green, it provides what bicycling commuters need, and it is a model of the sustainable, livable mobility that this nation needs now."
That's really, in a lot of instances, the most cost-effective, healthiest, reducing dependence on gas and oil. It is an elegant partial solution to so many problems. We built this company based on research that was done that showed if people have these types of services that they will begin bicycling. We're proud to have proven that out over 15 years. It really does work.
With encouraging words, it's in that direction that residents see the Santa Barbara community moving as well.
I feel very proud that we have a bike station here. I'm very grateful that our city leaders and the downtown merchants and the folks on the downtown parking committee, everybody involved in the downtown parking program has been very supportive of the concept. They've been very supportive of having the downtown parking program continue to support the maintenance and operation of the bike station.
It's not only for recreation or as a child's toy anymore. It's a viable means of transportation that allows a person to really know their community in a deeper and more enjoyable way. And facilities like the bike station are here and available to cyclists to integrate it into their life.
The bike station offers multiple membership options, from single use to monthly, even annual passes in order to fit everyone's needs. For more information, go to their website at bikestation.com/Santa Barbara. As the airport terminal project crosses the halfway point, let's take a look back at Santa Barbara Airport's flight to the future. The airline terminal project has been cleared for takeoff. The second phase of construction is now underway, adjacent to the existing historic airline terminal. The Santa Barbara Airport's flight to the future is making its way. Now that the project is more than halfway complete, let's take a look back to see how far it's come. In September of 2009, following the site clearing, workers began the soil stabilization in preparation for the new two-story airline terminal. In order to improve the stability of the soil, construction workers used a technique called deep soil mixing, which adds cement to existing soil at the site. Once the soil stabilization process was finished, grading began in order to raise the site elevation above the 100-year floodplain. In October of 2009, with the site prepared, the groundbreaking for the new terminal building took place. After the grading was finished, the first order of work was to set up batter boards and install the electrical and communications conduits for the new terminal. Then footings were constructed to support the building, and the structural steel for the frame of the building was erected. Less than 6 months into construction of the building, workers poured the first floor concrete slab. To prepare for the roofing system, metal decking was placed on the roof beams. In June of 2010, with the second floor structural steel intact, the second floor concrete slab was poured.
Very nice. You know what? You lost it.
In August of 2010, metal studs were delivered to the site in order to start framing the interior walls. Once the metal decking was complete, the roof system installation began, which includes Santa Barbara's classic red tiles. As of January 2011, with the roofing system watertight, interior work is progressing swiftly. The new airline terminal is scheduled to open in June 2011, with the relocated historic terminal and parking lot to be completed in spring of 2012. Stay tuned in the months to come for more updates on the airline terminal's flight to the future. To follow the progress of the new airline terminal project, check out the airport's YouTube site at youtube.com/user/FlySBACOM. Well, when the visioning process for the new airline terminal began years ago, particular emphasis was placed on the need to relay a sense of Santa Barbara. Well, what better way to do that than through art? City TV's Valerie Tysaner shows us the significant role art will play in the new airline terminal.
At Santa Barbara Airport's new terminal, now under construction, art will play a prominent role. And just like the new terminal will be complemented by the old one, new art will be accompanied by some from our past.
Well, when we started out with the terminal concept several years ago, one of the things that we wanted to have translated into the new building was the Santa Barbara Airport experience. And part of that is the landscaping. You could sit outside, the human scale of the building, but also to share the culture of our region. And I can't think of a better way to do that than through art.
The tile mosaic floor medallion will be one of the first things people see as they enter the new terminal. Artist Lori Ann David designed the mosaic to look like an old stone floor one would find in the Vatican. It's not easy constructing a mosaic made of thousands of tiny pieces of tile, especially in 6 months. Lori and her team had to hand cut every tile to fit.
I laid these out and cut them all first because I won't start gluing this until I can glue the center, and I can't start gluing the center until the tile comes.
Many would probably think that hand cutting and gluing enough tiles to fill a nearly 300 square foot mosaic would be tedious.
Tedious? I don't know. I go pretty fast. Once I start having everything in front of me, I can see it, and so I just grab the tiles once they're all cut and just kind of move along fast. Sometimes it's tedious, like starting this illusion border was tedious only because we laid it out a couple times. I laid it out, and I knew that the design, even though we had all these lines marked because it's geometric, kept moving, and so it was like, okay, I just have to start gluing and it'll be fine, and it's worked out perfect.
Lori's favorite aspect of working in this medium is the element of surprise.
So the mystery is this is black in here, and I tried laying up the black in the center, and it's not quite right, but that's not to say when this whole thing is done, it may be the exact right color. So that's like my surprise. That's like the icing on the cake. That's like this beautiful little thing that, like, I think I know what I'm doing, and I do, but I don't, right? I'm not in control.
As is true in many other vocations, art has traditions. Lori maintains these traditions within the tile mosaic.
In the tradition of all craft and arts, you want to have one piece of perfection that's imperfect because that's what perfection is. And especially in the middle of this design, which is part Islamic, part Spanish colonial, part traditional, illusion, all of that, that's the mystery tile, and that's the center from where everything radiates. That's like the soul of this.
Another piece featured in the new terminal will be a mural by renowned Santa Barbara artist Channing Peak. While Peak was alive, he created some of Santa Barbara's most iconic art pieces, like this one at the Central Library. The 5-panel mural is on a long-term loan from the Santa Barbara Arts Commission. Cherie Peak, his widow, still holds his paintings dear to her heart, especially because her husband put so much of himself into each one.
It took about a year, I think, for the mural, for him to complete it. And he was sick. He got sick while he was working on it, too. And he almost died. He kept working. He was so driven to do it. And after it was done, it turned out he had a bleeding ulcer and he'd almost bled to death. And these young doctors in their 40s said, we wouldn't have survived that. We wouldn't have survived on the small amount of blood that he was surviving on. He had to have, I think, 4 units of blood transfusions. So he really put his whole being into that mural.
Cherie loves sharing his paintings with others, which makes the new terminal a perfect location for his mural.
I'm very excited because I think that mural is happy. You know, it has a good feeling to it, and I think it's a great mural to greet people, and when people are leaving and taking off. I think it represents Santa Barbara, and that's what I hear from a lot of people, that's one of the reasons they love that mural, because it does kind of reflect Santa Barbara culture and history.
The painting is being refurbished by a team from the South Coast Fine Arts Restoration Center to ensure that it is viewed as Peak intended.
I feel like we're bringing paintings back to the way the artist envisioned them. So, and then letting them have another several centuries of living in good shape.
Renovating the painting isn't easy. The team must be very careful during the restoration process. They realize how much wear and tear the mural has gone through over the past 26 years.
There's areas that have skid marks, like when they were rubbed together, and then both the two larger ones, or this one and that one that I've cleaned already, and the others too, have evidence of drip, like somebody spilled coffee, or maybe bird, or raindrops where they're like looks like coffee drips, but who knows what it is. But that seems to come off with this same solution.
After the restoration process, the painting will look like new, and it will be placed in the new terminal where over 800,000 people will see it each year.
It's an honor, and I know Channing would be happy. He loves Santa Barbara, he loved people, so I think it's a good combination. He was the kind of person that really just loved people, so I'm sure he'd be really pleased.
If you'd like to learn more about Channing Peak and his murals, stop by City Hall, where a study of his work will be on exhibit from this February through January of next year. Well, we've looked at the future of the airport, but what about its present? In our next segment, Channel 18's Jordan Katz looks at the many places you can conveniently reach from our airport right now.
Santa Barbara Airport has been a commercial travel hub for South Coast residents since the 1930s. Since then, the terminal has changed little, but service has expanded to better serve the community. Most recently, the airport has picked up service to Denver with a new carrier.
That is a good thing in two ways. One, Frontier is a low-cost carrier, so passengers can usually get a very favorable fare. The other is our service with United to Denver was very, very full, and United has added additional flights to Denver seasonally, but not all year long. So we were basically losing passengers to Los Angeles because they just couldn't get on here in Santa Barbara.
United Airlines was the first commercial carrier to call SBA home and continues to offer service to major connecting airports.
SkyWest United Express operates 18 daily flights out of Santa Barbara. We have 2 jet airplanes going to Denver twice daily, one in the morning and one in the early afternoon. And then we have 8 flights each to Los Angeles and San Francisco in our 30-seat Brasilia airplanes.
American Airlines regional carrier, American Eagle, will continue to offer service to Los Angeles to then feed into its national and international system.
So it's what we call like a terminator airport, so there's nothing that connects in here typically. So we carry passengers to the nearest hub, and in our case it's Los Angeles. And then you probably heard where American Airlines is expanding Los Angeles. So we have 9 new cities. One is Shanghai, so that'll hopefully help with the traffic.
Flying out of Santa Barbara is not only a convenient way to travel, it is often a more economical choice. When taking into consideration the gas and parking that it takes to fly out of other major hubs, Santa Barbara can actually mean a cheaper trip.
A lot of our fares are very competitive. They may be just $25 or $30 more than flying out of Los Angeles. Some of our fares are even less than Los Angeles. Going through security is a lot easier than going to a bigger airport. Also, parking is easier. It's just a lot more convenient to fly out of our airport.
As the first stop of many for most travelers, it is imperative that flights out of SBA go as planned. The order of operations between flight arrivals and departures is enough to make one's head spin.
On this side of the terminal, for example, using SkyWest, there are 5 kickoff flights. So you can imagine with the queuing space that we have now, this side of the terminal is jam-packed. On the other side, where we have Mesa and Eagle, we have 44. We use 44-seaters Embraer, so you have 44 people going out, and then we have the queue space. The counter for Frontier is on the Eagle side. That's 99 people. So just in terms of space, it's very, very compact. God forbid if anything gets delayed, then it's even worse. People have to stand outside in the elements, which is not a good thing.
Fortunately, a whole new terminal is expected to streamline operations.
There'll be plenty of seating. Upstairs after security, you'll be able to use restrooms. We'll have a restaurant, a gift shop, all the amenities that you normally find at other airports after security, where today ours all those services are before security. The rental cars will be in the building and not in a separate building. We will have a separate lane in the front for ground transportation to separate the cabs and the shuttles from private passenger traffic. More curb space to park and unload and load.
It's going to be a lot more convenient once you get in the terminal and you have your ticket and you're in the boarding area to actually purchase a beverage. Right now you can't do that at the airport and take it through. So we anticipate an increase, and I would venture to say on food and beverage and gift shop probably a doubling in revenues. Then generally for the community, once we have tourists come in, it's about $500 million a year for hotels, restaurants, retail, entertainment. So the airport is a jewel for Santa Barbara.
To find out how much you can save by flying out of the Santa Barbara airport, use their handy calculator at flysba.com. For years, the city's Water Resources Division has offered incentives to residents to save water. Up next, Inside Santa Barbara's Alex Coverson introduces us to people who took the city up on their offer and are now saving water and money.
There are heroes around us every day, walking in our midst. Heroes take brave strides towards positive changes to help others. Would you consider a person who is water conscious to be a hero? Well, the city of Santa Barbara does. They are our water heroes, people conserving water to save resources for the benefit of the environment and community. The city of Santa Barbara supports residents making those positive changes and doesn't expect them to do it alone.
We encourage residents to save water both inside and outside because water conservation is part of our water supply. In Santa Barbara, we rely on water conservation to help us in meeting our water supply demand.
Though we are at a high capacity now, it is still important to conserve water for the future.
Water conservation is important in both that we rely on it to get us through the dry times, and as well, it's beneficial to the environment. It helps our local fisheries keep water in our reservoirs and lakes, and it's really just the right thing to do. In California, we live in a semi-arid climate, and water conservation is both smart from an environmental perspective as well as it saves money.
To help residents reap the environmental and financial rewards of water conservation, the city offers a variety of services.
We offer a free water checkup. We will come out to your home or business free and assist you in looking both indoors and outdoors of ways to be more efficient and to save water.
Residents can also get helpful information online and find out about water education programs, rebate offers, and even a free rain sensor. Local water heroes have taken advantage of these resources. For Indy and Omar Salah, a small change to their front yard led to a major rehaul, thanks to the City of Santa Barbara's rebate program.
We decided to start a cactus garden, and we were actually very fortunate because I'd say about 50% of the plants were salvaged and or given to us by neighbors who had larger plants with babies. And then we had a sewer problem that resulted in needing a plumber. And our plumber thought that if we wanted to carry out more of this style of gardening, that we should look into the city's rebate program, which is excellent, and we did. And we got rid of all the grass.
The Salas, along with a number of other residents, recognized that by getting rid of their lawn, they would be able to save not only water, but also money on their water bills. As the Salas learned, it doesn't take a big crew to make a big change to your lawn.
So the actual grass removal, we hired someone to help us with because we did the center ourselves and it was no fun. And after that, we did everything ourselves. So we amended the soil, we got Vista Tree to deliver some of the mulch, and we went out to all the nurseries. We tried to go as native as possible. I mean, not all the plants are native to this area, certainly, but a large portion of them are. And we did the planting.
As Indy said, we had a few guys come in, mostly because of the carting off. We don't have a car that allows us to drive a large bit of sod out of here. So They chopped it up. They helped us chop it up and then and carted it off. And then I went through and rented a rototiller just down the street. There's about, I was saying, like $50 for a day. And rototilled it to really try to get the soil down and pull the roots and kill them, chop them up and whatnot. And that worked pretty well.
Like the Salas, Charlene Lim, also a local resident, realized the money and effort that goes into having a lawn. Charlene found a good alternative in a less water-consuming, more aesthetically pleasing front yard.
So I've always been gravitating towards gardens, other people's gardens that have no lawn and just lots of green and flowers, and that's pretty much lawns. I feel, you know, I don't use lawns. Nobody uses lawns. It's pretty. It uses a lot of water, but you don't really get to appreciate it.
To make the change, Charlene got creative in hiring her help.
I have a couple of friends, my sister included, that live back in New York. So one of the women is a landscape designer, and so I offered to fly them here free of charge and to stay with me to help me design my yard and install it. And being New York in February, they loved the idea of getting out of the snow. In fact, the day that they arrived, they were shoveling snow in the morning, and by afternoon, they were in shorts and t-shirt, and so they loved it.
Not only do people save money on remodels by using the city rebates and programs, but also on their water bills.
I saw the notice in my water bill, but what I didn't realize was that you needed to contact them ahead of time. One of my neighbors seeing me do my yard did mention about the program.
But the water savings isn't only on the outside. The city provides programs for modifications made inside the home as well. Brian Hope installed a gray water system to help lower his water use.
Okay, so what we've got here is a washing machine that has a Tandy ball valve in the back that's been plumbed into the wall. So you can either turn it so that the water goes to the sewer, or you can reverse it and have it go out to the yard to a gray water system. Very easy to do.
The Salas also plan on making some easy changes inside their home.
I mean, we can start with simple things like replacing the shower heads in the bathroom and going to low flush or dual flush toilets, which we plan to do.
And though saving water and money are two big benefits of water-wise living, a third may be the icing on the cake.
Going the whole distance saved me time for sure every weekend, because now there's just nothing to do except the weeding. Hopefully the mulch will keep the weeds down. So far it's done pretty well. In fact, I'm not even certain that it's weeds that are the problem so much as grass that's poking up and hasn't quite been killed yet. So
through all the changes, there is one constant. The City of Santa Barbara Water Resources Division is there to help.
They've been very active with programs. I had Kathy come out and evaluate the irrigation system, the landscape irrigation system, which at some point I'll be taking advantage of some of the credits for upgrading that system. But yeah, the city's been very active in promoting conservation.
In the end, the city acknowledges that water conservation can only be possible with active and engaged residents.
Residents of Santa Barbara have done a fabulous job saving water. We're so fortunate that we have environmentally conscious, water conservation conscious community, and we at the city really appreciate that. We want to thank all of our water customers through all the years that we have saved thousands and thousands of gallons of water every year.
Gallons saved because of all the water heroes in our community. Heroes just like you.
For more water-saving tips and also to find out about all of the incentives being offered, visit santabarbaraca.gov/water. Well, that does it for our first episode of 2011. If you have any questions or comments about the show, give us a call at City TV at 564-5311. And you can always watch the show online at citytv18.com. I'm your host, Dominique Blocker. Remember to get involved inside Santa Barbara.